So yeah, thank you very much. My name is Juraj Jurik and I work for GAB Foundation. And in this presentation, I would like to show that NBS, let's call it NBS, it's much faster than nature-based solutions. That NBS are not only nice to have solutions, but they could actually make business sense. So what I mean by that they're cost-effective solutions that could be used to increase profits, but they also could be used to, reduce maintenance and operation costs, for example, and you can monetize benefits of nature-based solutions. So this is the brief agenda of my presentation. I will introduce shortly GAB Foundation, then I will move to drivers for NBS projects, business drivers. And to make the presentation as practical as possible, I would like to show you 3 case studies that I really like because they really demonstrate business case for nature-based solutions. So GAB Foundation is a Swiss foundation based in Basel in Switzerland. We're working to promote sustainable and resilient infrastructure by designing global standards, such as the SHORE standard, which some of you might know, by strengthening the capacity building. So we help stakeholders to include sustainability and resilience aspects into infrastructure planning and development. And by research exploring the link between sustainability and resilience performance of infrastructure projects. And so, working in the field of infrastructure, it was inevitable that we would sooner or later explore nature-based solutions because they can really significantly contribute to infrastructure resilience and sustainability. So GAB's work on the topic of NBS is going mainly through ThinkNature platform, which is H2020 project. It's this project that is organizing this webinar. EIT Climate Kick, which is a knowledge and innovation community working to accelerate transition to zero carbon economy. And through collaboration with EIB, so European Investment Bank, which is the biggest provider of climate finance. So what is the business case? Business case captures the reasoning for initiating a project or a task. The logic of a business case is really that whenever resources are spent or time, effort, they should be consumed in a way that they support specific business need. So an example could be that an infrastructure upgrade might improve system performance, but the business case is that a better performance would improve customer satisfaction or reduce system maintenance costs. So there are many business drivers, for example, profit generation, and all organizations in the world, whether public or private, operate under financial, human, and natural limitations, resource limitations. So securing these resources is critical for business maintenance, for business continuity and growth. And nature-based solutions can actually offer these limitations, saving these limitations, these resources, and increase profit, reduce costs on operation and maintenance, increase, for example, land value near the places where they are implemented, or create new revenue streams, new business opportunities. Secondly, NBS can address climate change risks. So public sector as well as private sector stakeholders are increasingly facing risks from climate change. Hazards might include flooded airports, flooded roads, different kinds of infrastructure, damaged energy infrastructure, and even loss of human lives, which is very hard to put any value on. And lastly, stakeholder concerns could be also addressed by NBS. NBS are multifunctional, multi-benefit solutions, so they provide benefits not only to one or two specific benefits, but really multiple benefits, and they can enhance human well-being and health. They can contribute to local or even regional biodiversity, and they can create some very interesting social benefits. So I would like to show you 3 case studies which I really like. And they're all different. They're all different NBS solutions. They're all financed from different sources. So we have public-private partnership. This is the first one. Then we have a case study. Then we have an example of a nature-based solutions which was financed from public money, and the last one was financed completely from private private money. So we will have a look on those. The first one is the first example is called Live Elia project, and this is a project which was implemented in Belgium and France. It was about applying innovative vegetation management technique to create ecological corridors along the routes of high voltage lines in Belgium and forest in France. It involved different kinds of stakeholders. It involved local NGOs. It involved EU, the regional authorities, but primarily two companies were involved. One is called Elia and one is RTE. These companies are responsible for management of infrastructure lines and the whole infrastructure system, which is transporting electricity. These companies are also responsible for managing those corridors, and they were considering two management options for the future development of those corridors. One was so-called traditional management. This one is basically cutting the vegetation, so it consists of slashing and grinding thick vegetation, and it is leaving a clear cut. I think most of you might be familiar with this one, with this option. And then the second alternative is the one that was proposed by Live Elia project, and this one is a nature-based alternative, which includes different kinds of NBS interventions, such as creation of ponds, of natural habitats, of peatlands, moors, meadows, and selection of species was done in a way that those tree species would never pose a risk to the infrastructure system, so they would never grow too high. Special management consideration was also paid to widening those corridors. I think it was close to 50 meters, to also make it safer, and special management to edges of the forest. So the business case here is, after very precise cost-benefit analysis, that there is a positive effect on operation and maintenance costs of those two companies, transmission system operators, Elia and RTE. This alternative management actions break even in 3 to 12 years, depending on actions. And then after 30 years, these actions will become, in some cases, 4 times cheaper for infrastructure owner than the traditional management. It also reduces the risk to electrical cables by choosing right vegetation. So this is really a business case, because they could monetize what was the value of those interventions. We have then, of course, benefits for the other two stakeholders that also financed the project, and that is Walloon Region and European Commission. Walloon Region was looking to improve local tourism, and the Commission, of course, on the LIFE project was looking to enhance biodiversity. So all those needs and actually things that stakeholders wanted to achieve could be achieved by implementing this project. The second example is actually from the city of Basel. It's very close to my office, maybe 100 meters. Actually, this picture, I mean, but the whole project actually is about implementing green tram lines in the city of Basel. And the idea was that green tram lines can also create different kinds of benefits for the city, but also for the company that is responsible for operation and maintenance of the infrastructure system. So the company is called Basel Transport Operator Network, and this company is owned by the city, by the Basel Canton. So it's a publicly owned company. It operates more than 182 kilometers of tram lines and bus routes in the city of Basel and a nearby area. And they actually have 3 options always. They either go for asphalted tracks, they can go for green tracks, and they go for gravel. What is interesting is that it's very hard to specify the costs of those tracks, because it depends on the location in the city, also where you implement those tracks, and it's hard to kind of say 1 meter of such tracks would cost so much. But what they can say is that green tracks are estimated to be approximately 15 to 20% cheaper than asphalted tracks. But green tracks are also 30 to 40% more expensive than gravel. However, the benefits that come from green tracks are very interesting ones, because what they do, they reduce the risk related to the track infrastructure. Especially on hot summer days, tracks can actually undergo some distortions. When it's very hot, they absorb a lot of heat. When you have asphalt or gravel, this effect is even stronger, and infrastructure can be really damaged, and that would lead to reconstruction of the infrastructure, which is very expensive, of course. So the city of Basel like to actually implement green tram tracks whenever this is possible. It also reduces heat island effect significantly in the city, and it also increases rainwater retention capacity of the environment. So it is also a nice measure to mitigate floods in the city. It is also very socially acceptable solution. People really like it. It also reduces noise level coming from trams up to 3 decibels, and it increase, of course, livability of people, because it's green. People like green spaces. And the third example is an example from Netherlands, which was implemented by Dow Chemical Company, and what was the problem here is that this was a historical site 20 years ago, and there was a production of dioxin. Yeah, so it's a chemical substance, and the groundwater in this zone is still contaminated with dioxin, and there is a migration of this substance which is threatening the surface water. So, you know, it's not only in the interest of the company, but also of the region to purify this water. And so the objective of the project was to develop a cost-effective, sustainable remediation method for dioxin in groundwater, and also to prevent further off-site migration. So the company had 2 options. So they were considering so-called traditional approach. It was advanced oxidation, which is a chemical treatment process, and they were considering phytoremediation using poplar trees. After cost-benefit analysis, they realized that cost evaluation over 10 years would be the following, as you can see on the slide. So basically, nature-based solution could help them to save 900,000 euros over 10 years, which I think is a clear business case in this example. So to target the contaminated aquifer, which was 5 to 11 meters below ground level, a special treatment system, a special well system and root system of trees had to be designed to soak up the water and to purify the water. And the conclusions were that phytoremediation is a feasible option to treat dioxin-contaminated groundwater at active chemical production plants, and can be an attractive and sustainable alternative for conventional hydraulic containment. So in this case, the business case is that company can save a lot of money over 10 years. I wouldn't really speak about climate change risk mitigation in this case, because those trees were planted in specific locations on a private property. So maybe it's kind of a peanut contribution to CO2 capture. But what is interesting is that this example can be further replicated to, and companies working in the same field could use this solution. This really shows that nature-based solutions that are not only nice to have solutions, but really even companies and big companies could use the benefits for whether operation or maintenance, or saving money, increasing their profit, and so on. Yeah, so these are some of the resources I used for the presentation. And if you have any questions, of course, you can get in touch with me, and I'm very happy to provide more feedback on this. Thank you very much.